Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Echo! On the last episode, we finished Carl's route. Before that, we had done all we can of Leo's route. So, we're going to real quick check to see whether or not TJ or Jenna have gotten updates. And if they haven't, as of the 0.26 update, that is the most recent one that is available to the public, I believe, then we will start on Flynn's route. We're really cruising through this game, so let's just see where the fuck we're going with this one. Okay, so this is the car route, because that's the first one we did. This one, I believe, is Jenna, so let's see if, I guess we're what the fuck? I do not... Has this gotten updated? Oh shit, it has! Oh shit, it has. Okay. Jesus, I forgot about this one. That's a picture on Carl's phone. It looks like it's in a dark space. Probably the crawl space. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I don't want to look at it anymore, so let's get that the fuck off screen, huh? How about that shit? So, honestly, I have no fucking clue what's happening. I completely forgot where we were. Everyone is scared in the chat. Nobody knows what's going on. I stare at the sunlight reflected upon the ceiling above me. Its pale golden hue has gradually shifted to a more amber tone as dusk nears. We showed up around, what, 2-ish? Yeah, usually I'd be at work, but I took time off for Leo's party plan. The patter of Flynn's feet is audible behind me as he paces back and forth upon the tile floor. Glancing over the edge of the couch, his gaze is fixed upon the ground in front of him, the phone cupped against the side of his head. What? He's in the kitchen now, using your coffee machine. All the old gang is here. To repeat, the alarm wasn't armed. Carl usually doesn't set it. We got in through the top window above the kitchen sink. So I guess he's talking to, like, Carl's parents? Flynn points toward the aforementioned window despite currently explaining it on the phone. We all do it. We all do it. At least I certainly do. Leo stands motionless in front of the kitchen window, facing away from us. Well, Jenna did, then unlocked the front door for the rest of us. Wasn't my idea again. Place is kind of messy, but we didn't see any signs of anything broken into. Jewelry above the bedroom dresser? Give me a sec, I'll check. Speaking of, here she is. Flynn hands the phone off to Jenna before heading upstairs again. She uncrosses her legs and stands up slightly, pausing for a moment as she listens to Carl's father on the other end of the line. She uncrosses her legs and stands up slightly, pausing for a moment as she listens to Carl's father on the other end of the line. Yes, Mr. Hendricks, it has been a while since we've last spoken. 5 or 6 years, actually. I go by Jenna now, yes? Instead of pacing about like Flynn, she moves over towards me. She rests herself against the arm of the couch by my head. Her expression shifts some, but I can't tell much further due to the sun glare coming through the windows and at the angle above me. My brother? Actually, yes. When I went through his phone, it showed that they had texted earlier that... Yes, it does appear Carl was buying weed from him. She's quiet now, listening. I can hear Carl's father on the other end now, meaning his voice is a bit raised. I turn on my side, propping my head up with an elbow on the armrest in an attempt to read her expression. Jenna doesn't appear fazed. She doesn't look at me either. Mr. Hendricks. The voice on the other end continues. The high-pitched rasp of Carl's father's voice is still audible a minute later. There are pauses in what he's saying, but Jenna doesn't interject. Finally, there's a pause around 5 seconds before I hear a quieter, "Are you still there?" coming through. Yes, Mr. Hendricks. At this time, I'm going to file a missing persons report with the county sheriff's office, citing the image I sent you from Carl's phone. Which is that weird-ass picture we saw earlier. Looking over, Carl's phone sits upon the coffee table, the red-eyed image still displayed. Why the fuck? You're gonna run the battery through. Something about it seems so familiar, yet exactly why escapes me, like fleeting deja vu. It makes me uneasy, even without the context of our current situation, which makes it worse. It hasn't been the minimum 24 hours, but as you said, the fact that his phone, wallet, and all your other vehicles are accounted for is worrisome. She waits, listening. I'm going to tell the police that we were given the go-ahead to come and go from the building during the week. If you could confirm that when the sheriff's office calls you later, that'd make things easier for us while we keep up the search effort. Do you and Mrs. Hendricks have any recommendations on that front regarding where he could have gone off to? Hearing the telltale thuds of Flynn's heavy-footed gait upon the terracotta stairway, I glance up. He returns, shaking his head. Shit's still there. Jenna nods, seeming to ignore the now strange look that the Gila was giving us. I sit upright. I think Mr. Hendricks is giving us some advice of where to look. Jenna again nods in confirmation, though Flynn still peers at us with a furrowed brow. Were this any other time, I'd have some shit to say right now. He sighs, nostrils flaring. I lean forward, taking hold of Carl's phone and peering at the image again up close. I'm going to check out some of his messages myself and see if I can find anything. Yuck! Don't like this.
Somebody reading messages like this.
Yeah, because the fucking phone picture.
I need to see these for myself.
I was texting. I wasn't texting. I was driving home from Lawrence, and I had to speed around a dude who was in the left lane. And, like, if you're texting while driving, you're already a stupid fucking person. But this wasn't just like a person, like, they got one hand on the wheel, other phone is down here, just off thing or whatever. Down here a little bit, here it is, whatever, like, text, whatever. This person was holding it, like, up here, doing one of these numbers. Just like, huh? Just doing that while driving, going 70 miles an hour. Oh, shit. What the fuck? Hold up. The fucking game moved while I was talking. You can't do that shit. We're going to pull up the phone again, see if we can... Oh, no. It just does it by itself. The cell phone is plucked from my grasp, Flynn standing above me. Jenna and I already looked through that. Now you're just wasting time by being a snoopy shit. Flynn's emerald gaze briefly flicks to Jenna, then back down to me. Surprisingly, Jenna nods in agreement, then motions fuck to the stairs. We got this, Chase. Like I said, go see how TJ's progress is going, I guess. She looks to Flynn with a sort of stern, knowing expression before responding to something on the phone. Something in that phone was about us, we don't know. Well, the convenience store is a few miles from here. Does he usually walk that far? My cheeks burn at the scolding, and I rise to a stand. Turning to leave, I could see Leo standing unmoving in the kitchen. He's like a photograph, a still image silhouetted in contrast to the fading sun through the window. It's weird. Usually Leo is the one who jumps into action with this sort of situation, or at least he did when we were kids. De facto group leader and whatnot. Now, though, since we found out Carl was missing a couple hours ago, he's been pretty resigned. Hell, Flynn and Jenna have been the ones coordinating everything so far. He glances over his shoulder, the first bit of movement I've seen him do in about 15 minutes. I can see his red eyes from here. He's staring right at me. I find myself walking over despite myself. Flynn and Jenna busy talking with Mr. Hendricks over speakerphone now. I enter the kitchen and approach him. Hey. Yo. A silence lingers between us. So, Carl. Yeah. Know where it might be? Of course. I'm just not telling anybody because I like all this quality time we're having here, huh? Leo, this is serious. Jenna's about to call the sheriff. Yeah? Good. 2 birds with 1 stone. He holds up his phone, a notification on the screen I can't quite read. Got a call from BriAnna back at my parents' house. The police were checking to see if I was there. What? My brow raises. I try to study Leo's expression, but he's stony as all hell right now, his jaw set in near constant grit. Family Plex got my plates from the security camera things at the parking lot, I'm guessing. I sigh, rubbing my forehead. I'm about to open my mouth and say something, though I catch a sort of strange empty look in Leo's eyes that brings me to pause. I decide against my scolding and instead move beside him, taking one of Carl's mugs and pouring myself a cup of coffee from the coffee maker. It's one of those fancy ones that has an espresso maker built in, and a weave basket next to the machine has at least 30 different flavor cups. Fucking hell, rich people. The flavors are mostly dessert-based, with labels like salted caramel, frosted who gives a shit. They sound pretty damn delicious. As far as I know, Carl only drinks energy drinks, and usually obscene quantities of them. After taking a sip, the bitter scald hits my tongue, and I find myself reflexively reeling before getting a chance to swallow. Despite having all these choices available, it looks like Leo went for straight black. Leo's gaze shifts back to me, and I see him perk a white brow. Damn fine cups of coffee, eh, Chula? Chula! Chula! I managed to swallow without sputtering too much, putting on a slight artsy flair to my tone. Black as a moonless eve at moonlight, just how I like it. He smiles, though it is a visibly pained expression, which he obscures behind his own cup as he drinks. I bet at university all you drink are those rainbow frappuccinos I saw on the news. I remember when that came out. My dorm is by the library, and the coffee shop was in there selling them. The line was insane, and they sold out super quick. My friend, Vincent, he's a barista there. I wonder if it's the same Vincent from Blackgate. It's evident. That would... Actually, these games are in the same universe, so that would be fucking interesting, wouldn't it? Oh, that the same Vincent from all those photos you've been uploading recently, yeah? The other wolf guy? Oh, Jesus. I can see where this is going from a mile away. I take another drink of my coffee, despite the bitterness. I mean, the pictures, they just pop up on my timeline, yeah? I keep seeing them pop up. Yep, same guy. Ah, I hear ya. There's a pause, and I change the topic. Are you gonna turn yourself into the sheriff? Not yet. Gotta find Carl, and I think a wolf who's known the horned fucker his whole life can sniff him out better than some overpaid mall cop, huh? It'll be more trouble for you if Sheriff Malco, assuming that's who's in charge, finds you first. We also could be charged with as an accessory if we're hiding him. Leave signs? I feel like that sighs with a frustrated bassy rasp, his gaze flicking down to the kitchen floor. You sound like Jenna. It's probably because what I'm saying makes sense. The wolf looks up, his bug-eyed gaze focused upon me as if he were searching for something. This damn get-together has gone more badly than I could have ever predicted, you know. I nod, not disagreeing with that sentiment in the slightest. First Flynn at the river, then the shit at Family Plex, now Carl's nowhere to be found. This may all be the worst shit, yeah? But I wouldn't ever be able to forgive myself if I gave up the last chance I ever had to spend time with you guys again, you know? He sets his coffee down, his paws gripping the back of the countertop. Leo, come on, we'll see each other again. You don't know that. Jenna's moving all the way to the East Coast, TJ out of the country probably, and you... After what happened at the Family Plex, you probably don't want to see me ever again either, huh? There's a serious intensity in the cadence of his voice, as if something is practically choking him as he speaks those last few words. The air even feels weird. I think for a moment about what to say, still processing Leo's response. Looking around, I spot an old black beanie hanging on top of a coat rack by the door, and I remember something. Carl once told me something back when I said you were becoming too cool for us in high school, with football and stuff. You know, back when you stopped riding the bus and just spent all your time after school at practice with the jock kids. He said that after all the shit we've been through, none of the present petty drama stuff matters, yeah? I mean, sure, I'm kind of skeeved, but it doesn't mean I hate you forever. Just hate me temporarily, then? I sigh. You still haven't even said sorry or anything, man. Why would I say sorry for when it's fucking Jenna who showed up and ruined everything, yeah? Are you serious? I told you to fuck off, too! Why? Why? Jesus Christ, man, you were grinding on me 15 feet away from a fucking kiddie corner! You used to do that sort of horny stuff to me all the time! Now you're different! He gesticulates with a swinging motion towards me using both of his paws. Well, I guess I am. That's sort of the point about why it's fucked up. Leo blinks, his shoulders raised high. He begins to speak faster and with more of his old accent seeping through. You didn't even tell me you was uncomfy or nothing. You just told me straight up to fuck off. It felt appropriate at the time, man. This is why I didn't even want you to leave, Echo Otter. It isn't like things were great here between you and I before I left either. Because Jenna got to you. What are you talking about? We had it all planned out. A house, a car, a job waiting for you at my dad's shop. The life we talked about since we were little. Then Jenna started talking to you about Pueblo and how you should go. The hell with all this us hick trash. We are better than them, yeah? Leo. And then she came up with that fucking prank. I see his fist shake and instantly know what he's talking about. You broke my phone! You broke my heart! I don't know what Puchica means. For fuck's sake, shut up! Flynn steps into the kitchen and I realize I can still hear the faint sound of Jenna on the phone with Mr. Hendricks in the other room. Why, you two fuckers are having a domestic. What, a domestic? Carl's getting reamed by the Mothman! Or whatever the fuck that red-eyed shit is on his phone. Leo steps forward, his jowls curled back into a snarl. Get out of here, Flynn! Surprisingly, Flynn holds his ground. The lizard squeezes his fists against his chest and stomach as Leo approaches, reflexively defending himself in case swung upon. We don't have time for this shit! Leo stares hard at him, his shoulders raised and fur bristling. Flynn flinches some. It reminds me of how Leo acted towards him at the river, and I'm starting to wonder if this is how Leo treats Flynn when we're not here. Leo, what the hell are you doing? Calm down, alright? I'm still fuming from what Leo said, but I don't even know this bickering. Even I know this bickering is petty in contrast to the problem at hand. I saw 10 seconds of silence pass, neither of the two tall figures budging an inch. Oh shit! Oh, okay. Finally, Leo steps forward, shoulder checking Flynn hard enough that he stumbles back against the wall. I'm gonna find Carl myself. Flynn sputters angrily, Leo muttering some string of swears as he heads toward the door. At least tell me where you're going to look so I know where not to go. Leo pauses, his hand on the door handle. Danica Street to Elizabeth Road, south to north. Great, good luck. The door slams behind me, and the heavy foot stomps of his feet are on gravel outside. He's gone. I look down and realize that I'm shaking. Even if it had been years, an argument like that with someone who basically defined my childhood and teenage years as a way of hurting deep. I try to refocus, making my way over towards the knocked-over Flynn and offering him my paw. You okay, man? He glares up at me for a second, then takes my grasp and pulls himself up. The lizard weighs a ton, though, nearly pulling me down with him. Just go help TJ already. Gonna check the basement again. He dusts off his front and begins fiddling with his shirt collar, walking off back towards the stairwell before I can respond. Through the window, I can see Leo outside. He's down the road a ways, past his van. He's talking to someone. I see the figure he's talking to point towards the house we're in, and Leo crosses his arms. It can't be the sheriff already, can it? Moving to the window to get a closer look, I can see the figure is a weasel. Duke. Jesus, I haven't seen him in years. I used to see him around on his porch a lot back when I visited Leo's place near Daly. As far as I can remember, he was the loner type, occasionally getting involved with civic stuff and the mayor. I have a vague memory of him being married to a younger lady when I was a kid, but I don't remember seeing her after first grade. His interaction with me were always pretty brief, not much to judge a personality by. Now, though, he is pointing at the house, speaking loudly, though I can't discern what he's saying. Leo just looks angrier, his tail stiff. Despite the range, I can practically feel the old fellow's gaze shifting, meeting mine through the window. His pointing hand shifts, now aimed directly at me. I reflexively blink, stepping back. When my eyes focus, there is a plume of dust in the air. Duke is on his back in the middle of the dirt road, and Leo is quickly marching back towards his van. The hell? Duke is already back up on his feet, sprinting now, away from Carl's house, his mouth still moving. He's saying something. Leo's van peels out of the driveway, gravel kicking up in its wake. Within a few seconds, he's out of sight as well. Jesus. I walk over to the door, locking it once again, just to be safe. Left alone, I head out of the kitchen. As I walk past the living room, I overhear the low rasp of Flynn's voice, his tone serious. And the fucker shoved me. You said he was pulling at this shit at the mall, too? I talked to Chase if you wanted more details. To think he just had to pick this day of all days to fucking snap. Leo rubs the tip of his snout. His slitted eyes narrowed until they spot me. And then he just looks back at Jenna. Let's call Malka now. Right. Flynn begins to dial for the sheriff. Jenna looks towards the door, then to me. We'll talk later, Chase, okay? If you want, of course. I pause, having been about to head upstairs. Oh, yeah, sure thing. She smiles at me, despite everything. Oh, hey! TJ rises from Carl's computer chair, clearly forcing a smile as he sees me. He's clutching his cell phone to his chest. TJ? Yeah? You okay? No. TJ sinks back down into his chair. Perking a brow, I move one of Carl's console gaming chairs over towards the computer area. TJ slides his cell phone back into his pocket. I'm worried about Carl. We all are. We're calling the police, and hopefully they can help us, yeah? I know, it's just that image on his phone, you know? The picture Carl took? Yeah, it's spooky. Spooky doesn't begin to describe my initial thoughts regarding it, but this is TJ I'm speaking to, so gentle words and all. Yeah. One of his canines sinks into his lower lip, the lynx chewing on it nervously. Maybe it's a screenshot of something he had on his monitor. We could check his history and recent documents to make sure. Have you already checked all that? His face flashes with a guilty expression. No, there's a password required to log in. Yeah, the new version of these operating systems make you log in with your email account. It's dumb. I pause, thinking for a moment, then scoot a little closer to the keyboard. May I? TJ blinks. Takes him a second to understand. Oh, yeah, sure. He rolls to the side, and I pull the keyboard closer to me. Clicking the mouse brings up the generic login window. Username Blaze Ice is visible. When we were younger, Carl and I used to play a lot of free-to-play MMO-type games. I convinced him to give me his password for one, saying that I'd grind XP for him while he was on vacation with his parents. In reality, asshole me sent his rare party hat item to my character. I tried to tell him that the game devs deleted the item from the game, but I don't think he believed me. God, I was such a shitty 10-year-old. Oh, hey, that worked! Yep, kind of surprised he's still using the same old password, but kind of not at the same time. Carl isn't one much for change, right? Anyway, what should we look through first? TJ scoots closer, his chin practically on my shoulder. I have to shift my head some so that his whiskers don't brush my cheek. His messenger, I guess? Good dragon. Oh, Jesus. I see you and me on here. Most of the others outside our group are his online friends. It's good to know that he's still being social and meeting people after we left. Well, besides the names of the people in our group, these look to be all online people. I played Vox Desperas multiplayer with Carl and that Lucha Leche guy before. He lives on the other side of the planet, practically. I wonder if he still talks to Heather. I hope not. There's a brief silence. Wait, isn't Heather the person in Carl's route at the end that he wanted to talk to? I don't know. Flynn messaged him earlier, though. I see a 1 next to his name. But I don't think he wants us reading that. He didn't want anyone looking through Carl's phone after he and Jenna were looking at it. I think Flynn might have just been venting to Carl about what happened at the river party hard-like. DJ's face briefly scrunches as if flinching in response to that information. I moved to check on Flynn's name. I moved to click on Flynn's name, but TJ stops me. No! Blinking, I look over towards the one-eyed TJ, or the wide-eyed TJ, not the one-eyed TJ, who seems to be now recoiling from his own abrupt interruption. What? Yeah, sorry, I just think we shouldn't pry into that, if he didn't want us to see it. To be honest, Flynn was being so cagey about his contact with Carl just makes me curious. More curious. However, if what little stuff Flynn said to TJ to his face was enough to leave him shaken and distraught, I can't imagine what seeing the stuff he didn't say would do. Alright. I scoot back to the side a little, letting TJ take the mouse. He still looks pretty guilty for snapping at me. Let's check his browser history. Okay. TJ moves the cursor down to the star-like symbol on the taskbar. There's something called Flesh Affinity. And then, okay, you got, like, Fuda Factory. There's a lot of porn here. Huh, okay. Weed, hauntings, porn, video games, movie reviews, job search stuff, and let's plays. I guess pretty par for the course when regards to Carl. Nothing too unusual, but TJ moves the cursor to the Futa Factory link. I gently yet assertively place my paw on TJ's own and move the cursor elsewhere. It's a store for special couches. Isn't it called a futon? No. Look, the browsing history stops right before midnight. And the picture on Carl's phone was taken around that time, right? Yeah. That's really weird. It is. Let's keep looking. Try recent files. TJ nods, closing the browser and hesitating for a moment before clicking on the most recent file entitled carl.doc. A resume? It looks like it. I remember the Easy Mart. I'm still a little upset that it shut down. I mean, it's no surprise why, TJ. Yeah, it was just nice to have local food back when we were kids. The convenience store just isn't the same. The dietary choices available to people here are now really limited, unless they drive all the way to Peyton. The food desert, I think it's called. A food desert. Plus, it was nice to see Carl there working. He seemed to really enjoy that place. Besides, he got to slack off the whole time, and there were barely any customers. But I get what you're saying. His anxiety about being around people wasn't nearly as bad back then. DJ nods, smiling sadly. I bet Jenna could help him. You know, she's not actually trained to be a psychologist, right? Her studies are more neural med techy. Oh, I know. She's a really good listener, though. I nod. It's her big ears. Chase! A snicker, TJ shaking his head and closing the resume. He moves to open the next document on the list called F-Space, all those JPEG. I've moved my mouse over the scene, too, just in case something bad comes up. That doesn't look too bad. What the? Aww. That's my old profile picture I drew for computer class back in 4th grade. Wow, really? It does look familiar, kinda. Yeah, I used it back when we all made social media accounts. My mom made me delete mine when I got home. It was probably for the best. There was a lot of drama around how that site made you pick your top 8 friends and you ranked them like that. That's, I guess, MySpace. A lot of feelings were hurt and such. That sounds awful. And I think I remember some of it. Sydney didn't ever add me. TJ's gaze shifts for a moment. I'm wondering why he has this saved, and why he was looking at it yesterday. Maybe spending time together made him sentimental? I still watch some of the funny movies we made with your camera back then. Your voice used to crack so much, which is hilarious because this is the voice I picked for TJ. I feel the sting of embarrassment rise from my neck to my cheeks. Oh man, I need to delete those. No, don't! They're really good, as silly as they are. You were really good at making them. I grunt, waving dismissively. Just open the next file, TJ. I really like the one where you used that editing software to make a twin of yourself. I think the plot was one of those, one of the twins was a detective and the other was a criminal, both trying to solve their father's murder, and they had superpowers. I was more ambitious than I probably should have been with that project. DJ, just click the next one. Alright, sorry. DJ clicks the next file labeled all of those numbers.png. Oh, that's from the trip we took to the reservation. Another picture with Chase in it. You live next to a furry! Back in like freshman year of high school? Jeez. Look at you two, you were so little. Carl was just getting his beard. I think we were both just getting used to high school at the time. And it was and that was taken during Thanksgiving. It's surprising to see Carl smiling in a photo. It's surprising to see something of Carl other than his butt in a photo. I wish he wouldn't send me those. There's only one left from the list of files that were opened yesterday. It's titled To Carl PNG. Wait a second, that sounds familiar. TJ looks at me curiously, then clicks it. Oh man. Oh Jesus, look at our fucking Jesus Christ. Our dumbass face. Oh wow. I emailed this to Carl months ago. Photos like this make me wish I went with you guys to Pueblo. I wish you went too, TJ. I was actually trying to convince Carl to come back and try again with a different major. His parents really wanted him to stay away from art degrees, which is what he really wants to do. TJ looks like he's about to respond, but his left ear perks. His attention shifts towards the doorway. I hear the sounds of thuds against the carpet out in the hall, and I half expected to see Carl around the corner and ask what the hell we're doing. Instead, Jenna steps in, her turquoise eyes already trained on the computer monitor. She moves closer, leaning over me and squinting at the screen. I remember that. First year in Pueblo, your parents had just dropped you off. I was wondering what the heck you had on your chin at the time. Yeah, you hadn't seen me with facial scruff yet. I never took you for the soul patch kind of guy, honestly. It's a goatee. It's kind of small for one, don't you think? I frown, reactively reaching up and touching the scruff at the end of my chin. It was kind of weird, but now I'm used to seeing it. I frown deeper. TJ blinks, giving me an apologetic look. I try to refocus the conversation. Carl is missing. He is. Why are you looking at old photos? Pictures. These were the files he was looking at yesterday. And we checked his browser history. His online activity stopped just before midnight and didn't ever resume. Anything unusual there? I think he was looking to buy a fuda. Jenna stands there, staring at TJ with a deadpan expression. After about 5 seconds, she looks at me expectantly. He means a futon. But you said no, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, well, I'll be I'll be sure to let the sheriff know when she gets here. Oh shit, Flynn, goddamn. Flynn steps into the room beside Jenna. Usually the Gila has a bit of a case of resting bitch face, but right now he looks downright sour. Alright, let's figure out who's going to look where. Wolf Boy's made the decision to go check the roads Elizabeth through Donica. Chase, you've got Margaret Lane through Tetanus Alley, Jasmine Street. I'm giving you more since you've got a car. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I just want Carl to be okay. Jenna nods, offering TJ a reassuring smile. Just text me while you're out. I'll most likely be free since I'm keeping watch here at the house. TJ smiles back sheepishly. Okay. Before you all scat off to your respective places, I found some weird shit in the basement. Flynn holds up his fingers, there being some white, chalky substance upon them. At the entrance of the crawl space, there was a bunch of hoof prints, dents in the wall, and plaster everywhere. Like Carl was headbutting the damn thing. There's nothing I could see in there, though. My theory is that Jeremy gave him bad weed, laced it with some shit, and now Carl's on a real bad trip. Which is why I need you to talk with Jeremy when you get to Jasmine Chase. He looks sidelong towards Jenna. Jasmine Street, I mean. What? I feel a chill crawl up my spine. Jeremy, especially with my friends, made my life hell during parts of my childhood, especially after the lake incident. All of them were native inhabitants of Jasmine Street. If it wasn't for Leo stepping in, things would have been even worse. You can text me too, Chase. She seems to have read the look at my face. I swallow and try to look casual. Okay. Flynn rolls his eyes so hard I can't see his pupils for a moment. Pausing, I remember something. I saw Leo get into an argument with Duke outside the house earlier. Duke kept pointing at it and was saying something to him. Whatever Duke said, it was enough for Leo to push him to the ground and drive off. Knowing Leo's minimum threshold for violent turns, probably hello. Flynn seems to soften a bit at that comment, looking sidelong to hide his smirk before returning to his more hardened expression. But in seriousness, that is concerning. I'll also relay this information to Sheriff Malco when she gets here. I'll text Leo and try to figure out what he wanted. Good plan. Flynn immediately heads out without another word. TJ hesitates a little, fidgeting with something on the computer, but gets up and leaves as well. I'm about to follow suit, but Jenna stops me, her paw on my shoulder. Hey, if Jeremy asks about me, you don't need to lie and say I'm not here or anything, okay? Oh, yeah, I understand. She lowers her paw, recrossing her arms over her chest. We'll talk later, yeah? Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm lingering to the point of awkwardness now. Good luck. You too. With a clearing of my throat, I shuffle my way out. Oh, here we go. I take the bend out of Mary Drive, trying to squint through dust kicked up by my vehicle past the sagebrush ahead. Carl isn't exactly small or stealthy, so if he is around here, I should be able to see him. The more I drive, the more I start to notice how little maintenance the dirt roads receive around here. My tires kick up topsoil and gravel, more divots mar the surface of it and jolt me in my seat. Unlike Flynn's truck or Leo's van, my little clunker isn't meant for these sort of roads. I can practically feel my maintenance bill growing. As I approach the turnoff to Jasmine Street, I pull over to the side of the road. I reach back into my shorts and take my wallet, placing it in the glove box and locking it just in case. Stepping out of the vehicle, a cool sweat begins to form along my neck, and I have to remind myself that I'm 21. We're all adults, I can drink, I have a car, I live by myself, and Carl is in trouble. As I walk through the clearing of dry bush, I'm reminded of the last time I was here. I had a fight with my parents. I think it was over my grades or Leo or something. Eventually, I had enough of being yelled at and took off for a generic teenage angst walk. My MP3 player was with me at the time, so I had put my earbuds in and had the emo core cranked up. Hours passed, and it was like I wasn't even awake, just meandering through the desert, bleary-eyed and directionless. I must have ended up on Jasmine because the abandoned school was nearby. I remember stopping to kick a rubber tire or something, and before I could, an arm appeared. It was furless, sort of pinkish, and incredibly long. It just sort of showed up in the corner of my vision, stretching out in front of me like someone was trying to hug me from behind. The music in my MP3 player had stopped, and there was a complete absence of sound besides ringing in my ears. For some reason, I still don't understand. I didn't move. Maybe I was too scared. I did speak, but all I could say was, "Hey." And then someone hit me over the back of the head and called me a caretaker. They tried to take my MP3 player too, but I was clutching it so tightly at that point they couldn't get me to release it, no matter how many times they hit me in the head. I ended up telling Leo about it later, and he basically forbade me from ever going near Jasmine Street again. He kept asking who did it. I told him I didn't know, but Leo thought I was just trying to keep him from harm. He went on this big speech about how where he comes from, if somebody did this shit to a man's significant other, they'd be fucking dead. I was tired and my body hurt, and my head hurt, so I asked him how well that philosophy was working out for everyone in his home country. That just made him even angrier, and he kept going on about how he's supposed to be the protector for us all, and all this other shit. Hell, he even name-dropped Sydney to help prove his point, someone he almost never brings up because it kills the good mood. Oh, here we are. I come to a stop at the edge of a clearing. The street sign on the corner of the base of the hill confirms my location. Jasmine Street. I also know it as Tetanus Alley if you ask Flynn. No wonder Jenna changed her name. I make a point to keep my tail from touching the ground, occasionally checking the path ahead for shattered glass. Looking through the shattered windows of abandoned manufactured homes and littered hilltops, I can't imagine Carl in a place like this. Approaching Jenna's old house, I take stock of how it's aged. Poorly. It's stucco, unlike most of the other trailers about, but it hasn't seen a good coat of paint in at least a decade. The lawn is overgrown with weeds, and old convenience store wrappers lay entangled within the grass. Even as little kids, we never played here. Jenna would always insist we go to Leo's or my house. Listening in and peering through the torn screen windows, I could see that no one is home. Moving on around back, I hear some chatter behind the half-demolished home next door. Some familiar voices stand out instantly. I keep out of sight behind the debris. "No, it wasn't like that." Heather says this in a babyish whine, practically a coo. There's a rasp to her speaking voice that I don't remember her having. "You lit up with him all day in that shed, and you're saying that you didn't do that?" "Oh, shit. Who the fuck said that?" "Oh, Jeremy. Shit. The color on the fucking name is the same." "No. He was really, really sweet. I mean, he had an accent and everything." "What kind of an accent?" someone says. That voice I don't recognize. It's sort of gravelly, but artificial, like someone's trying to make their voice sound deeper than it is. You know, the Hispanic ones. Wow. Is that still, PC to say? Because my cousin was telling me, fierce-like for using that other word. You called Josh that word, Heather. Trying to gravelly make it sound fake. But I meant it in a good way, like when I call you my night rat. What the hell? You can call me whatever the fuck you want, Heather. Just don't be throwing that shit around when Jared's trying to sell. Chill, dude. He still bought it from me. How much? It's in the book. You might not next time. Dude, ever since you got back, you're so much more assertive. The unknown voice doesn't respond. Jeremy speaks up again. So what happened with Juan? We just talked, He wants to be a baker. He said next time we meet, he'll bring me some guava compa, whatever the hell that is. Those are those apple turnover looking things, right? God, I'm hungry. Oh, that sounds so good, Jeremy. Why did you have to bring up apple turnovers? Well, that's sort of what I don't know. You brought them up, Heather. Jeremy laughs in his trademark bassy, it's a bassy apparently. God damn it, bassy and abrupt titter. Are you gonna give Juan your cherry pie next time you see him too? What the hell? What? Huh? I don't know how to cook. I don't even have a stove. Fuck me. The voice groans. It's slang for vagina, a slice of cherry pie. I wouldn't put my junk into a vagina that looked like a slice of cherry pie. You're gross. What? He said it. You both are. Humph. Heather says this with a snooty flair, though it's subverted by her voice's more dopey, childish undertone. I need to get out of this town. You haven't even been back that long. Aren't you upset about the dreams again? Yeah, the dreams and shit are getting worse. But it's other stuff too, okay? You just need to relax, dude. Smoke some, That's what works for me when I get them. I'm trying not to use up the stuff I'm trying to sell. I gotta save up, Everyone around here seems to be losing their shit more than usual. Plus that fucking bear's leering around here all the time. Brian keeps pushing me to sell this cut injectable stuff. Won't tell me what it is. Really? Is this conversation really fucking important? Oh, there's a pause in the conversation. Keith wants to say hi to his mom before work. What? What? Keith wants to say hi to his mom before work. Oh, that's probably a code phrase. Heather. Keith wants to say hi to his mom before work. She probably knows she's being listened to, and that's the code word and all this other shit. What's wrong with her? Why are you saying that, Heather? An increasing sense of urgency takes hold on Jeremy's usually calm, lackadaisy tone. Keith, you mean Keith from... Heather begins to sob. Her crying is sputtering and wet. I can hear it from here. Oh, God. Heather, dude, what's wrong? She continues bawling, her whining cry increasingly shrill and choked. Oh, Jesus. Heather, I can't deal with this right now. Micah. Oh, Micah apparently is the name. Give her a joint. Micah, what? What, I'm not giving her any more of mine? She's probably pulling this shit just to get more. Dude, now, I've seen the shit I got some of mine in the mini storage out back. Just hurry, huh? Fuck, okay. Hearing footsteps, my heart lurches. I move back around the other side of the structure, praying that my clumsy otter self is actually pretty stealthy for once in my life. However, it isn't long before I see him around the same corner I just did. Oh, what the fuck? What in the goddamn... Micah's big eyes widen in alarm, the words catch in his throat, higher pitched than the others. There's a pause, and having been caught, I haven't got a clue what to say. Well, shit, it really is you. He mutters, his face taking a more stern expression. What? What in the fuck are you doing here, schizo? I'm jolted for a moment, that being something I haven't been called in years. I swallow, crossing my arms and trying to look nonchalant. Looking for Jeremy? Thought you fucked off to college like the rest. I thought you disappeared back in '08. Quiet huff escapes the small bat. Well, I'm here now. Heather's crying can still be heard in the background, her banshee-like wails providing an odd ambience to this reunion. Why do you need to see Jeremy? I'm looking for Carl. An indiscernible expression takes hold upon Micah's face, intense, and his gaze flicking to his surroundings. Rich Goat ain't here. Why? Is Leo with you? No. Suddenly Jeremy approaches from around the corner. Oh, shit. You just fucking said you're defenseless. Oh, goddamn it. Fucking hell. Oh, goddamn. Dude, what the hell? The stout Fennec's turquoise eyes bulge. He's much more round than I remember him, looking like a mix of Jenna with Carl's body. Schizo's here? Oh, Jesus, where's the wolf? He says he's not here. Guys, I'm looking for Carl. Even the police are searching for him now. Micah tenses the hell up at that information, his standoffish demeanor completely gone. One of the few people he talked to before he went missing around midnight was you, Jeremy. Have any idea where he could have gone? Jeremy stares ahead of me blankly. There's a certain warmth that Jenna possesses in her gaze that her brother completely lacks in. I look at Jeremy now, and all I can see are the times he threatened me over stuff I didn't do, called me a that word, and hit me. Yet there's definitely something different in his demeanor than I remember. He's less intense. Schizoed, I'd tell you if I knew. I just hooked him up yesterday, like a quarter mile from his house. Ever since he crashed his ride, he makes me come out there to him when he wants to buy. So he didn't mention anything about running off? I can't see Carl running. Why the hell would he why the hell would he want to when he's got everything he could ever want in the castle? The castle. Which is why it's worrying that he isn't there. Did it look like somebody broke in? No. Oh. You didn't give him anything laced, did you? I don't really know how all that works. No, it's the same stuff I smoke. That's not really that's not really that assuring. But I nod regardless. Well, thanks. We're staying at Carl's if you hear anything or see him around somewhere. Jeremy frowns, canting his head to the side. Is Jenna with you? Yeah. Jeremy's frown deepens, but he doesn't look exactly angry or anything. Oh. There's a pause of silence, punctuated by a choked sob from Heather behind the house. How's she doing? The usual. Better than everyone else. Jeremy's frown shifts to a lopsided smile, the fox even grinning for a second. One of his front teeth is chipped in half. Sounds about right. Micah looks over his shoulder. Gonna get that joint now. He sidesteps, grunting as he passes. Nice soul patch. Don't say anything. Micah moves on towards the mini storage without incident, though I feel a boiling in my cheeks. My fists begin to clench. We're adults. Why the hell do they still treat me like this? 'Cause they didn't grow up. This must be how TJ feels. Jeremy watches Micah for a moment before scratching his gut. His eyes are upon me now. Yeah, you should go now. Oh, yeah. I'll let Jenna know that everything is, all good here. Jeremy just stares at me, then walks back to Heather. She's still crying. Huh. That's fucking weird. But that brings us to Thursday. And that'll signify the end of the episode. And, unfortunately, of the what? What the fuck? What the hell? Oh, Jesus. We're gonna end the episode here. I'm gonna save. We'll see what this is in the next episode. Holy shit. Until then, y'all, fare thee well. Bye, everyone.